Hello, my name is Lennis Woods Mullins, and I am here with Dr. Tom Negelow, and we're going to be sharing a channeling today. And Dr. Tom, if I can call you Dr. Tom.
You can just call me Tom, is good.
Okay, Tom is okay. All right, great. Tell us a little bit about you and how you came to be a channeler and exactly what that is. What does that mean?
Sure. I started channeling about 35 years ago. When I was doing healing work. The channeling just kind of happened. I didn't study, I didn't go to anybody, I didn't try to become a channel. It was just really very spontaneous. And out of that being spontaneous, at first I was a little skeptical, but as I channeled more and more, I really felt the energy, I felt the appropriateness. And also what as I channeled for people, I noticed that they were getting value out of it. And that's really what kept me going with this, is that other folks were getting benefit from it. How I started, again, it was spontaneous out of the healing work I do. And I just kept doing it, and met an individual. What really put me over the edge was I met an individual who's a scientist and was inventing some particular healing devices. And I channeled for him and started to channel things on a scientific level that at the time I had no knowledge of. Wow. So when I heard these tapes coming back, when he played them for me, I was like, oh, I really don't know that.
Oh my goodness.
So that's when I said, wow, there's something really special and important going on here.
Beautiful. I did have a question. If you could tell us, who is it, or who are the entities or the energies that you channel?
Yeah. Well, today I'll be channeling the Ascended Master Kuthumi. Kuthumi is the combined energy of St. Francis of Assisi, Pythagoras, and the Shah Jahan. That's the guy who built the Taj Mahal. The commonality of those three is the energy of unconditional love. And Kuthumi has said that basically I'm the voice of unconditional love, and that's the name I've taken. I'm a deep trance channel, which means I go into a deep meditative trance. I have no experience, no memory of what's going on when I'm speaking, or what the person or people who I'm channeling for, what the questions are, what's going on. And then for me, sometimes later, I just come back into my body. So there's no experience. There isn't another side, if you will. I don't have any memory of anything. So for me, that really is important, because it keeps Tom's opinion out of it.
Wow, that is truly amazing. I've had an experience a couple of times of being able to speak with him, and the wisdom that he shares, his insights are so awesome. And I know that anyone who hears him will benefit. So let's get started.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Well now, and good day to you, my dear. And how are you on such a fine day that this is?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Very good, very good. So let us speak for a bit about doubt and confusion, and ultimately how doubt and confusion come to be responsibility. For you see, what is doubt and what is confusion? Doubt is looking at things in the world and not sure about how it is fitting into the experience that you are having, you are creating, or even sometimes the illusions that you have made in your life, you see. So doubt puts you in a place where you have to look more deeper. And that is what is important. Looking into what is really so, not from the perspective of how you have always looked, how you have always felt, and how you have always done things. Looking deeper into the truth of what is so for you, you see. Now, what this means then is you have to have a very clear, a very concise, and a very accurate, if you will, experience of who you are. Because you cannot look into something to try and figure out who you are in it, how you feel about it. Not in a true sense. When you look at something from the perspective of the true experience of self, then you can make out what is in balance for you and what is not balanced for you. And that is the purpose, if you will, of being in the world. It's finding balance, finding wholeness with the self, and finding consistency. These things bring you to being able to take the experience of the self, the feeling of the self, into the world and creating something from this, you see. So now you are creating something from newly rather than something from what you have always been, what you have always seen, the illusions that you have been under, you see. So confusion and doubt supply this. They look like something that is bad or negative, but they are not. Confusion is the state of being able about you in a new way. Now you can use confusion to bring you off the track of who you are, because you're going to look back and say, well, I'm confused, so I better go back to what I was doing when I wasn't confused. Well, the dilemma is that when you go back to when you weren't confused, you will see that it was a reaction to what you were confused about. Do you see this? It is almost like a circle. Looking into confusion, saying, well, let me get unconfused, go back to what it is you, when you were not confused, and you were confused at that time as well, except it was an illusion that you created about the confusion. This is very confusing, isn't it?
Confusing, yes, but I do understand.
Very good. And so, now what is doubt? Doubt is the uncertainty of what to do next. You see, you can doubt yourself, which means you're going to stand there and look. That is good. When you are looking from a place of peacefulness, of love, looking from the place of the connection that you are energetically with the universe and energetically with the God, you see? So that's what confusion gives you, is an ability to be wide in your perspective. All you have to do is be willing to sit in the confusion for a bit, you see. And as we have said many times, confusion can also be not knowing. Very good to not know, because when you know, where are you knowing from? You are knowing from what you have known. And when you create from what you have known, you're going to create what you have known. Now, if you want to create what you have known, fine, go ahead. But how has this served you truly in the essence of who you are? So in confusion now you have the ability to not know and look deeper again into what is so from the experience of self, rather than the experience of who it is you think you are or might be or want to be in all of this. All of those things are fine, but it must bring you to the experience of self. And in, if you will, your nutshell, the experience of self is the experience of unconditional love within. So now in the chaos that you're experiencing in this particular time And there has been chaos in the human condition always. Chaos leads to what? Ultimately, chaos leads to the experience of unconditional love. This sounds a bit strange, but look and see in your own life when you have had chaos, what came out of it? Ultimately, a feeling of peace and wholeness and being one with the self and one with each other. So, what you can do in the chaos is go to another, look him or her in the eye, and say to the self, I love you unconditionally. Now, what support can we create together? Very good. And so, some questions at this time.
Thank you very much for your insights. My question is, what is your insight with the chaos and confusion that's going on right now? How can one deal with it in such a way that they're maybe part of the solution and not the problem?
Yes. Well, first of all, in order to be part of the solution, as you have said, you have to see what part it is you are in the experience in the self. Now, here's what that means in a practical way. You look out into the world, into the physical chaos that is occurring in this time, and you have your opinion. This is natural, of course, and a human thing. But go beyond your opinion, you see. Look and see what it is and what is important for you to take the first step for the self. Now, that may sound a bit what is the word?
Egotistical.
Egotistical, yes, very good. Sometimes your English words get funny. It may look like you're an ego. You're doing it for yourself. No, you are not doing it for yourself. You are becoming clear in the self so that you can indeed support another or others, you see. Engage yourself in the conversation, in the looking, in the wondering, and see first how it is you are in it. Release all of your judgments. Now, this is not that easy. Human beings judge, certainly, yes. Enlightenment is the ability to notice you are judging and release it in the moment. When you release the judgment you have for another or others, you are left with one universal energy, and that of unconditional love. So go into what it is you do. First, loving, and then action from that love.
Thank you for your insight. Another question I have is that I hear a lot of people talking about personal responsibility, taking personal responsibility for their health, personal responsibility for their behavior. But yet there are those who seem not to be taking personal responsibility. What is your insight on personal responsibility?
Well, yes, continue.
I was just going to ask, how does one know that they're actually taking personal responsibility?
Yes, well, personal responsibility means the experience, not the thought, not the thinking, not the ideas, not the action, but the experience, you see, of being one with the self and the energy of the universe and the energy of God. So you see, personal responsibility means that you know that you have action and you have selfness in everything that goes about you, you see. You can point a finger at somebody and say, oh, it's their fault, it's this way. Well, for their responsibility, they're doing what they do. But why is this affecting you? It is affecting you in a way because you have not yet let go of whatever it is that is, let us say, bothering you or harming you. When you let go of everything that is in the way of you loving another, in the way of letting go of your judgments, then what you will see is that you are responsible for everything in every way. Now, responsibility does not mean blame. If somebody harms you, then they are harming you, and they are at fault for harming you. Your responsibility is your reaction to it, what you do with it. You see? How it is you take even the worst circumstances and look and see, once you are free of your emotions, how can you use this to create what it is you want in your life and how to support others? That is ultimate responsibility, you see. So when you say responsibility for the self, you mean connecting to the energy of everything that is you and you that is everything.
Thank you for your insight. Shelley, do you have any questions?
Katumi, would you speak further about what people could do in this time to move forward in what they're creating and moving beyond, these very challenging circumstances?
Yes. Well, when you are creating in your life, you will always have challenging circumstances, whatever they may look like, you see. So what do you do with challenging circumstances? You look at what is so for you. First, what is the energy? What is the feeling? What is the vibration in the physical body of what it is you want to create? What does it feel like, you see? And then focus on the feeling, because what to do about it will come from that, you see? You cannot go out into the world and try to figure out what you're going to do. You must go out into the world and look at what is there and what is so, and then use it to create what you want. But how do you know what to take from the universe, what to take from the world, what to take from the three-dimensional physical world, if you do not have an experience of feeling to see if it is balanced, to see if it is harmonious or not? So the chaos is caused from disharmonious grabbing onto something because it feels right or looks right or seems right or somebody told you to. Come to a place in your life, and we will end with this. Come to a place in your life where you are whole, you are complete, you are one with the experience of self and the universe and God, where nothing and no one can take you from that. The experience of loving the self in a way that it brings you whole in each moment of time. And so, my dears, until the next of our coming, peace to you in this time.
Peace be unto you. Thank you.
Excellent.
Hi.
Thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful wisdom. So much there. Wow. I'm sure everyone's going to want to replay this again to listen to see.
Yeah, and that's what I recommend. Listen to it several times, because you'll hear it differently as you listen to it. So, that's great.
Okay. And for those who want to schedule more one-on-one time with you, what's the best way to do that, Tom?
Well, you can get a hold of me at Tom Negelow, Negelow @gmail.com. You can email Shelley, SHELLEY, Negelow @gmail.com. You can call our number at 678-828-9145. And we also have sites.
The voice.
Shelley knows this. I don't know this stuff.
Okay.
Our site is the Voice of Unconditional Love.
Yes.
If you want to join us there, I post things, I answer questions, I do some mini channelings like this one. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things that you can get from that site.
Fantastic. And for those of you who are on Facebook, the site actually is on Facebook. It's a Voice of Unconditional Love on Facebook. It's a Facebook group where you can see some of Tom's other channelings and take a look at their postings and be a part of a community. who is growing with the help and the wisdom and knowledge of Master Kutumi. And the other, I had a quick question. Master
Sure.
Kutumi, you said was a combination of, could you tell me again, please?
It's St. Francis of Assisi,
Yes.
Pythagoras, and the Shah Jahan.
Okay, very good, very good. Just want to make sure I was clear on that. Thank you so much, Tom, for your time today.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you to all of you. Remember to get back in touch with Tom if you'd like to have more one-on-one time with Master Kutumi and his wonderful insight and wisdom. Until next time, bye-bye.